Hey guys, you're watching In the Frame with me, Jeanette Jimenez, and with me today is Christian Zengotita, a film director and film media professor. Welcome.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
That's good.
Just hanging out, you know,
Yep, you're chilling.
trotting away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I hear you're a film director. What's all that about?
Who told you that?
Well, I don't know. You've been nice. You know, I always see you at the cameras.
Oh no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what inspired you to become a filmmaker?
Well, since I was a little kid, I always liked to do a lot of content. I was in the theater, did a lot of theater. I like to show off. I always created these crazy ideas. Now I recognize they were still somewhat embarrassing in a way, but I always liked to create stuff. And it wasn't until I was 15 where my parents put me in the Escuela Osuna, which is a radio and television school, where I discovered like, hey, I can actually make something out of this.
And where's that?
Oh, that's in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Yeah. And there I took some classes on filmmaking, theater, radio, television, and it just changed my life. That's where I knew like, this is where I belong.
Okay. Yes. And wow. So when you're young, what was the first, what was your favorite film that inspired you?
Well, when I was young, and to this day, Jurassic Park is just my favorite film ever. That movie represents everything that I want to do, which is create a spectacle, create an experience that, again, the first time somebody saw a dinosaur, I asked you, how did it feel? Do you remember the first time you saw Jurassic Park?
Yes, I was at a movie theater at probably AMC? I don't know if that was, I'm sure it was open around that time, in the mid-90s.
Mm-hmm.
So I just know it was a movie theater, it was huge, and I had to, I went in there with the family, and it was a good experience. I watched it, I thought dinosaurs are real. I was like, oh my God, where are they? I want to go see them.
Exactly.
So that's what I was thinking when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big hit.
It was a groundbreaking experience. To this day, the special effects still hold on, but it's the sensation of amazement of seeing something new that I want to create. And I remember that Brachiosaurus scene, the first time you see that long neck just walking, and you can feel like how immense it is.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling is the same feeling I want to have, that I want people to have when they watch my movies. It's like just awakening that inner child, that sense of wonder, and wow, this is something.
So storytelling is important in a film, of course, but certain films have that ability to tell the story. Why are certain films able to tell such a story that captures people's hearts?
Well, interesting. So there are certain stories that connect with people's, in the end, it's all about creating emotions, you know? And there are certain stories that just connect to a mass audience. Topics about love, topics about social issues like politics, for example. And there are certain movies that hit the spot on what people are feeling, so they all identify. And as a community, we can watch film and be like, hey, that's us. And it guides us towards something in that way. So that's how movies, in a way, help people understand themselves or understand social topics, and they become classics in a way.
Okay. And what are some like film directors that you would, that you would note saying that they have really changed the scope of film and directing?
Well, I mean, to each generation, there's a different type of director or directress. You know? I can tell you the directors that really inspire me, and I think they have made a change. I think Bong Joon-ho, which is a South Korean director. I love his work, especially because he mixes genres. So there's uncertainty when you watch the films, and through that, he explores a lot of political issues through comedy and through tragedy, and it just really, you really touch sensitive topics, which I adore. Other directors that I enjoy is Guillermo del Toro. I love his work, how he works off fantasy. Danny Boyle, Brad Bird, and yeah, those directors are just amazing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I could tell you some of my favorite directors too, if you want to hear.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, Luc Besson, Fifth Element, and The Professional. I mean, he and many more. And then also Steven Spielberg. He like Jurassic Park. Chandler's List. Also Disclosure Day. It's coming out and I haven't seen it. Oops, sorry. But I will watch it. And then who was another one? Oh yeah, James Cameron. She is Terminator. Come on. And Avatar.
And why do you think like those directors, like why? How do they influence on you?
Well, I think it has to do a lot with the storytelling, and I can actually sit down and watch the whole movie without changing the channel. I was kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, I can actually like, and it's not. I mean, really, the story. I didn't know about the director or who produced it or who was in it. I watched the film when I was probably I mean, when they first came out. I was probably 10 or 12. I don't know what. And then to me, what mattered was the story. What mattered was like, it wasn't the people behind the story. I mean, those were characters that were built, that were like, it developed the whole story and it was great. But it was like, okay, I could follow through the story. Like, this is something interesting and I want to watch more. And they just captured my attention, just the way I want to just keep watching and seeing what happens next. For some reason, there are masters of storytellers. I don't know. They're just like, they know exactly like what's important and emotionally and also visually. Like and also musically, like they orchestrated a soundtrack for such a movie. I mean, they kind of captured every element of sense, like the senses that that we need to kind of just fall in love with these movies. And yeah, that's pretty much what I think.
And I agree, like a good director and storyteller is a person that can actually unite all of the departments in the film set, like production, design, wardrobe, makeup, and camera work, everything, just to tell one story, and it all feels coherent. And you get, like, when you as an audience watch the movie and you get this feeling like, oh wow, I am feeling something, although I don't understand why, and you're doing a good job, because our job is to create emotions, and that takes a lot of responsibility, by the way. But yeah, that's how it works.
Yes. And in like in your profession, how do you approach directing a film from concept to completion?
So I work like filmmaking and also teach filmmaking, comes from understanding your truth. When you have an idea, I incite my students, I incite myself to understand why does this idea came to me. There are other directors that believe the same thing as I, that all ideas already exist. We just somehow attract. We're like an antenna, and we attract that idea. So our work is to understand why that we attract that, and that becomes eventually the story. So in that sense, I go through a deep analysis, like self-reflection about who am I, what made me who I am today, and based on that, understand the story that I want to tell.
Okay.
So that's usually how I work it.
So what story are you most proud of telling through film?
So we always care about our movies. Our movies all have their purpose. They all have like they exist for a reason, you know? Yeah. I can say that all my movies explore the inner child, awakening the inner child. They're movies about accepting things as they are, not as we want them to be, and self-love.
Okay.
And I explore that through a lot of genres. I can mix and match a comedy thriller, exploring self-discovery at an advanced age. I can explore the inner child, discovering his older version of himself in an animated family drama. But I feel proud when that movie actually gets executed and people connect to it. When I see an audience crying, or they go like, wow, you made me feel something, instead of just like, oh, it looks good. Like, I appreciate that. But when somebody doesn't understand why are they crying, that's where I know that I did a good job. And I feel proud of that. And most of my movies, like people react positively to them. I always have constructive criticism, which I adore, but usually people connect, and they feel like, wow, thank you for sharing that perspective that I didn't have before. It happened to me with one documentary that I did on January during a winter storm, which was about birds. Like I saw birds outside. I was like, wait, what are you guys doing there in the winter? It's kind of cold.
Yeah.
And when I presented it, a lot of people were writing to me like, hey, I always think about the tragedy and the struggles, real struggles of being during the storm. And your movie gave a different perspective, gave like, there's hope. There's always a bright side to things. And that's something that really touched me, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the relationship between nature and men or
definitely.
women or everybody.
Yeah,
Humanity.
Humanity with nature, and we coexist definitely. It's a symbiotic relationship. And I also love exploring that topic, so.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to touch on that? Do you want to see, like, the spiritual notes in film with nature and the soul, the purpose of life? Or,
Okay.
I'm going deep. No.
No, yeah. And usually that's something that I do in my classes, just explore deep philosophy. You know,
Yeah. What's the philosophy of filmmaking for you?
the philosophy of art, of filmmaking. Well, art is ideas, which is like a concept that is only like if I go really deep, it's like this electromagnetic pulses happening to our brain. So art is those pulses, those concepts, those ideas made into like having shape. They take form. So when I explored that concept through filmmaking, it's just how our emotions become reality.
Let's go back to the child, like inner child speaking and finding truth.
When you're a child, you're always present. You see something new and you react to it. You have you meet a person and you're generally curious about them to see if you match or not as friends. So there's something there, because as we grow older, we start to get limitations about ourselves. They start to teach us, don't do this, don't do that, and somehow we get disconnected from that. But here's the thing: when we were a child, we were the best storytellers. We could take toys and make whole stories out of it. We give a camera to a child and they show us perspectives we have never even thought about. So why don't we go back to that? You know, because you discover yourself when you're just present. And I think that's something important that I like to teach my students when they're developing stories. Instead of focusing on, I want to make this movie because I want to earn a lot of money, which is something completely valid, or I want to win an Oscar. It's just about, why are you making this story? Does it make you happy? Do you enjoy this? Is this the movie that your inner child would watch? Those are the important questions, because you find a purpose to that movie. And in that way, yeah, you create something authentic. Because if not, maybe you're just based on copying things that you've seen before. And I don't think it's just as effective as it should be.
Okay, yeah. And I think do you feel like we're losing that part of our childhood?
So I think the real problem children have today is that they're just connected to the world through a phone. And it's anti-natural. It's not the way we were designed to be. We need to be physically with people. We need to connect with them. We're energy, you know. We need to be out in the sun. We need to receive vitamin D. You know? We need to be outside doing stuff and experiencing stuff. I can watch like La Basílica de la Sagrada Familia from Barcelona in my phone. Is not the same as actually being there and feeling this majestic piece of architecture, a piece of art, just over you. It's a whole different experience, and a lot of children, all they see, it's through a square, through a rectangle, a black rectangle, the black mirror. And that's a real problem, because when you want to be an artist, if you don't have those feelings, which are like, we have 5 senses, and most of those senses are used on the main sense is visual. I'm watching something. So when you try to create something on cinema, you need to use most of the senses. Like hearing how to use audio to create an emotion, how do you use a visual image in order to create a reaction. They don't have they don't have it developed. They don't have that developed because they haven't experienced life. So yeah, that's quite a challenge that they're having. They don't have a purpose to be outside.
Yes.
You know?
So as a film media professor, what advice would you give to students who are first starting a film and they don't know how to start?
Well, we will always say when you want to start making movies, it's like, oh, start watching movies, you know? But I take it a step further. I really would say experience life. Actually face your fears. If there's something that you're curious about and you don't know how to do it, well, just do it. You know, just explore it, discover it, see how you feel about that. When you start to get those emotions, when you start to play with your senses, when you experience stuff, it gives you perspective, and with that, you can actually start telling stories. Because also, we are usually trying to imitate something. Oh, I want to make a space movie. I want to make a sci-fi movie. Okay, cool. Let's go with that. Why do you want to tell that sci-fi? Why do you want to tell us through that sci-fi story?
I don't know.
And they'll be like, oh, I want to have a scene where there's a spaceship blowing another one. And it's like, okay, that sounds amazing. I want to see that. Why? Why do you want to show me that? What's the real depth behind that? Because I just want to separate the student from just copying something that he likes versus actually creating an emotional experience that you even get with a fight scene. You create stakes, and I want to train the students to have that perspective, but you cannot have perspective if you don't experience life itself.
Do you currently teach these types of methods?
I do. I give personal classes. I also give workshops, like week workshops, where I teach students to make stories from the idea, from the concept, to actually executing a full-on screenplay. And yeah, it's a beautiful experience. They always have a joke with me that I always ask, why? Why do you want to do this? Why does this character makes this decision? It's an essential question that we should always have as storytellers. Because even on social dynamics, why are you asking me this question, Janet? Why did you ask me that question?
Because I want to learn more.
Exactly. There's a purpose to that. So you have an objective as a character, and you have like an idea, and that idea becomes like the question that you're asking me, and you expect a result, and then we continue the dynamic. That's basically a scene right there, you know.
So, as a professor as well, in this film and film and media, do you recommend AI?
Oh, that is a great question, and it's very relevant and important right now, because there's a lot of extremes in this life, and I don't work there. I mean, we can have a healthy relationship with AI as much as just about everything. You know, overconsumption is the problem. Overusing something is the problem. So how can we use AI for filmmaking? Well, first of all, it can serve us as a research guide. I want to explore a certain topic. I need to be understanding. So AI simplifies all that process, so I can actually read about it. It can guide me toward other people that may give me more information about it. That's an amazing way to use AI. Another way that can be really helpful is when you're writing, sometimes you don't have the right words, or you need to rephrase something. Ask AI about it, and he can give you 2 or 3 options, and that way you can choose what is the best way based on the emotions you want to provoke. It can also give you some feedback upon, hey, what do you think about this action or this decision the character makes? AI has a whole system that probably has a lot of movies in its mind. So that way it can give you references of, hey, this actually works. I don't think about this perspective. I don't think this might work better than another thing. And it just gives you like feedback in that sense. My problem with AI is when you depend upon it to create a story. Because in the end, it's just copying other things. That's not cool. Be authentic.
It's tough to be authentic or original.
Yeah, because people are afraid of being authentic because you have a fear that somebody else would judge you. But if you see in history, a lot of the people that have become like references, a lot of them had to do things that were not common. They needed to be open to be judged by it, but they were just so clear on what they wanted that they just went with it, and people followed.
Yeah. So it's, yeah. I mean, at that point, you just have to get over yourself and do the work.
Oh my God. It's not, I don't want to do like get over yourself. Just do it, you know? It'd be like, hey, you are a human being. You will make mistakes, you know? And we are not perfect. It's just who we are. So might as well just rather it up or put it over there and learn from that rather than just not trying something and just trying to be ordinary and just trying to imitate everything. I just don't like that.
I see. Okay. So yeah, I mean, AI has a lot to offer, but there's also consequences with that, and also just limitations that you have to, and guardrails. You know, you gotta, like, you know, make sure you just, you know, don't depend on AI for everything. You know, your originality, what you can provide, is pretty much enough. I mean, AI is just like an assistant that can like propel you.
Definitely. And it's a really, really good assistant. It can just simplify so much stuff. But don't depend on the assistant, you know?
How do you balance artistic vision with budget and production limitations?
Well, that is a great question. It's about being like, it's a balance between being realistic and just pushing it forward, because necessity is the mother of creativity. And instead of thinking, like, it's all about a mindset. Instead of thinking, oh, I don't have enough money, is what can I do with these limitations? And you will probably find a lot of curious stuff. And you can see in film history how a lot of the limitations that these people had were things that today they're basically foundations of storytelling. And I always go back to the Jaws story. Like, they had the idea of using this mechanical shark, which was used in the movie, but they did not expect like the problems it would cause, because they're working with water, they're working with salt during the heat. The robot was always like just messing up. So what did I do? That's how do we suggest the shark?
Oh, I was gonna suggest that you were gonna like get a bat and tear it apart.
Oh, they probably did that. They probably did that a couple of times.
Get it out of here.
Get it where, you know, machines work that way, right? No, what they did was just let's suggest it. Let's suggest it through using barrels or the iconic music, Jaws music, where it's like where it's the point of view of the shark. That was a necessity. We did not have a shark. We have to shoot. We're losing a lot of money. What do we do? That's where creativity comes from. So I would say, first, write the script that you desire. Write your idea, manifest it, then understand your budget and rewrite that story based on that budget. So that way you can be objective about it.
So what is the process with working with actors and helping them bring characters to life?
Interesting question, the actor's process. And I think it's really cool because no actor works the same way. So that's really fun. First of all, you get to understand his methods. That person understand my methods, and we get to sort of agreements. We get upon agreements to what's the best way to tell this character's story. After that, which is one of my favorite parts, and it's something that a lot of students don't consider, is rehearsals. Rehearsals are basically like a playground. I bring out my inner child, the actor brings out his inner child, and we just explore possibilities based on the scene and what does the character want or need. And there we get to agreements. A lot of people, because they say time constraints and it is valid, they don't do this process, and they're figuring out what the character wants during filming, and it's not something that's supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, like film sets, when we're shooting, it's not supposed to be like figuring out stuff. It's about having a good production, understanding what are the needs of that day, and try to execute that. Being open to change, because every day something new might happen. Like Murphy's Law applies to us.
As a director, what type of films have you directed? Short films, featured films?
So I have directed short films. I have directed short documentaries. I've done a lot of commercials. On feature lengths, I have worked as first assistant director, which is the person that schedules, organizes, and basically makes sure that nobody dies on set.
You guys, you laugh.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's something real that happens, you know?
Oh my God. Yes, I know.
But I have written two feature length screenplays, and I'm currently developing my feature length. So I do have broad experience working on features, and yeah, I'm doing my first one.
Have you applied to like a film festival?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've been multiple festivals. I won multiple awards for a lot of my movies, and yeah, it's a very interesting ecosystem. Like meeting other people, and seeing other movies, other perspectives, and just having a good time.
Okay. So speaking of film, what would you prefer, like film or digital?
Oh boy, that is an interesting question.
Was that 8 millimeter film, or it doesn't matter? I mean, there's so many types of films, right?
Yeah, those are basically film sizes, like 8 millimeters. You got 35 millimeters, 60 millimeters. It's just basically the size. Okay. The biggest one being like IMAX 65 millimeters. So film versus digital. As a filmmaker, you know, you always want to shoot on film. It's the aesthetic. It looks so amazing. It's just this feeling. It's something that not only like the feeling of watching a film in itself, but the experience of recording a film. It's such a spiritual experience.
I don't know.
But right now, we're in an economical crisis. Things are very tough right now. So although I do, and I know one day I'm going to shoot on film, I rather invest that money on production design. I rather invest that money on the people that are working on the film, making sure that they have enough for their everyday life, because filmmaking is still a job. Like, it is still like another type of job. And I think it's important to be objective about that. I don't want to be stubborn and be like, oh, I shot my movie on film and my people get underpaid. I don't think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
And in that sense, I would rather go to digital at this moment, knowing that digital, it also can be edited. Right now, we can recreate film with all the technology that we have right now. So, yeah, that's my opinion about that.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense, and it's great that you care about the people, and the production.
Movies are a collaborative thing, you know. All departments unite as one body in order to get this goal. So why is there like a big ego here? Like, oh, I'm better than you. Like, I should get.
You think actors get a big ego after a big hit?
Oh, not only actors, like directors, you know, producers. Which is something I always, like, no, it's very rare that screenwriters get that, because they usually get underpaid, you know? And it's like, people always talk about the director, which is always like a dilemma that I have with students. Everybody wants to be a director until I actually tell them what a director does. And they're like, oh, this is kind of hard. It's like, yeah, you want to be a director because of the name? So you can put it like, I don't know, on your Instagram and you show your trophies, or are you doing this because you actually want to tell a story that matters? Definitely, but what I invite students is to understand that making movies is a complex work, and it's not just like, I'll write a movie, I'm going to sell it like that. No, it's our strategy. This is a networking kind of job. And you know the right people, you find the right opportunities right there.
So as a professor, do you also teach about screenwriting?
Oh, definitely, I do. Yeah, because I teach a lot of classes, but especially the ones about film directing and film development, from the story itself to the marketing, which is like the last phase, distribution, basically.
Okay, so I guess going behind the scenes in film, what are the biggest lessons learned on set?
The biggest lessons that you can learn on set is that everybody is important on set. Each person who's there has a purpose, and it helps facilitate the story from, just being developed. Also, empathy, it's very important, because it's a very high stress job, and just listening to everybody, knowing that everybody is on the same stress, can help you understand when things start to blow up. Like, hey, it's just the present. Nobody deserves to die on a set. It's just another job, like it's not something that should happen. You shouldn't be going to therapy after a 2-month work. You shouldn't be not spending time with your family because you're on a job. So empathy is for me a requirement on film sets. And in the end, it's a lot of people awakening their inner child and playing on this giant playground, making a story a reality. Why can't we enjoy that?
Yeah.
So those are important lessons because it helps you understand what life is.
Yes. So what is one word that describes your filmmaking style?
Why?
Oh, yeah. You said
Yeah, why?
why? Why?
Yeah, that
We're
would
going to
be-
say it like with drama.
With drama? Okay. Take it. Let me... Actually, yeah, let's do this right now. We can do that with drama.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I want to see some drama tonight.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh,
Put on the glasses. Why? But why?
but why what?
Why what? What?
What? Why?
I don't know.
I reversed it.
Yeah. No, wait. No. I mean, yeah. I guess why would be the adequate word because I overthink everything. Being quite honest, so might as well exploit that in filmmaking, and that is like therapy for me, But why? But at the same time, when you understand something, it can be dealt. So that's usually a question that comes by when I'm directing, when I'm teaching filmmaking, and I think it's a good staple. I might tattoo that on my arm, like is why, because I just like somebody asked me something, I just
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, it's going to be in little tiny letters.
No, it's gotta be fake, Times
Oh,
New Roman
it's gonna be
or
cursive.
Why?
Why? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you pretty much touched on a lot of things. Did I miss anything?
Life is about being present. Life is about making mistakes, but not seeing mistakes as something bad, but rather opportunities of understanding something and growing. And when you have that perspective, when you're open to change, when you're open to just experiencing life itself, you find the stories. You don't need to follow stories, attract them, but just experiential life itself. Also, something important for me to do is find the right people because I am just one storyteller, but everybody has something important to say. Everybody has something to add to this world. So you find the right people to tell those stories. We unite and we make a difference. I think that's the beauty of life. Because one person, that's a lot of pressure. Everybody goes like, oh my God, he's the person, like in the case of Puerto Rico, a lot of filmmakers are like, oh, I gotta make the movie that represents Puerto Rico, the best movie ever made, that's gonna win the Oscars. Like, just tell a good story with the right people.
Okay.
Okay, and that the good things will come out naturally. But it is only possible when you have the right people beside you.
I see. So where can they find you, Christian Zengotita?
All right, so you can find me on Instagram by my last name, Sen_Gotita. And you can also see all my work at signaturefilms.com, where you can contact me if you need to make your story a reality.
Yes. Well, thanks for that, Christian. Thanks for being here with me and just unraveling what you do and just everything that we've learned today. So it's beneficial, and thank you again.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. So you're watching In the Frame. Thanks for watching.